So I'm back now with a very simple and easy project that you can do at home during the winter. And this particular project doesn't need any type of special equipment. We're going to be photographing water droplets. So let's get stuck straight into this video. We currently have a storm here in the UK, so there's no way I'm going outside for any type of video. So it's a perfect time to do this video. And I want to keep things nice and simple. So even if you don't have any type of macro equipment, or you haven't even got a camera yourself, we'll go into that at the end of the video, you can get on and do water droplet photography very easily. There are a few things you're going to need. You're going to need some water, some way of placing the water onto your scene. I have a syringe. However, you can use a glass and toothpicks and just dip the toothpick in and place your water onto your scene. But we are going to be keeping things very, very simple. The first thing, we need to choose a subject. And again, let's keep things really simple. We're just going to put something on the desk and start adding water droplets to it. My personal favourite for that type of photography are feathers. So I have a tub of feathers. Some have been purchased off Amazon, some have been found at a duck pond. I'm just going to place a feather there. I do have my camera tethered to the computer, so that will restrict me a little bit. But you just get your camera, you look through the viewfinder and you start finding a composition that you like. Right, so for instance, I'm going to go to 1:1 on my lens. We're on manual focus and I'm just going to have a look around. You can see there, that's a nice composition just there. So what I want to do now is get my camera set up so that we can see that. I'm going to put it on a tripod. I always recommend using a tripod when doing water droplet photography. And to keep things easy for you, what you want to do is set up your camera so that it's pointing at the desk, and instead of trying to faff around with the tripod and the combination of your camera trying to get it into see that scene, we'll just move the feather into the scene. Now what you can't see on the EVF recording is the focus peaking comes on, so I can see exactly where the focusing is. So I want to angle it down just a little bit more there. Nice. So before we do anything, I need to set up the camera. So first of all, I'm going to switch over to manual because I'm currently set to my focus stacking mode. And we have a ISO 200, that's great. That's the native ISO for this camera. I'm going to put my shutter speed to around, I'm going to start at 500 and my f-stop at around f2.8. I like to keep things very narrow when I'm doing water droplet photography. I want that dreamy look, and to get that you just have your aperture as wide open as possible. So now we have that, we are going to do a test shot. You can see from my EVF we are way underexposed, so we are going to need some sort of light. Currently my favourite light for water drop photography is still my torch. I haven't found something that works better than that. It's just so simple. Okay, you can see there, if I hold the torch at around about that distance, you can see we have a correct exposure. So what I want to do now is I'm just looking at my custom white balance and I'm going to leave it on there. I'm going to leave it where it is, and the reason I'm leaving it there is I always alter the colors afterwards anyways. It really doesn't matter what white balance I'm using so long as it's close to what the torch is. Now I don't know what this torch pumps out. It could be 5600, it could be 64, I don't know. I'd have to test it, but we're keeping things simple. All I want to do is make sure that the white balance is not on auto white balance, because on auto white balance it's going to keep adjusting, whereas we want it to be the same white balance throughout our whole series of pictures. That way if we want a certain look that we want to apply in Lightroom, we can just copy the settings across all of our images, and it's very, very simple. Next we want a water drop, and I'm going to use my syringe here. This is a diabetic syringe. If you know anyone in the family that has diabetes, then you might be able to get hold of one of these. Very good for water drop photography. If not, you can get blunt ones off Amazon. So just type in syringe and you'll find them. I'm going to squirt a little bit of a drop out and just drop it in there. There we go. Okay, so we're going to readjust our focus so it's on the water drop itself. The closer your light is to your subject, the brighter the exposure will be. So you can see that I'm at -3 currently. If I bring this down and closer, you'll see my exposure changing to there, and then I can take the picture. Whoa. Okay. Let's take off our burst mode because that's going to take a lot of images. There we go. So let's take another one. There you go. And we'll take that image into Lightroom and we have something like this. Now, that is an issue sometimes, especially with feathers. You breathe, they move. And one of the main reasons I have got it on a tripod instead of being freehand, which you can do if you've got good image stabilization, is I want to try out the high-res shot on my Olympus. So I'm going to go into the menu now. Going to go to high-res shot. And first thing I want to change is the delay. Even if you're on a tripod, you're still going to get a little bit of shake. So I'm going to come here and we're going to go with, let's say, 4 seconds. Click OK and then OK again to turn high-res shot on. Let's turn on my torch again, get it positioned. If you've got a platypod system, you can mount this onto the platypod system so you don't have to hold it. But again, I want to keep things simple for you. Okay, let's bring that down because I was playing around with an F9 setting, but again, we want to keep things simple. So my light is in position, my focusing is okay. Okay, there we go. We have a high-res shot. That's something to have a play around if you do have the option on your camera. Let's change the scene about a little bit. And I'm going to bring in my platypod. Another good subject for water drops is flares. So I'm going to bring in this flare here. I'm going to place it into my platypod. This is my mobile macro studio. If you want any information on it, just check out the links in the description. Go to the gear list and you will find a list of gear that I use. And this is all there, okay? So what I'm going to do first, again, is I'm just going to set up the camera, and then all we do there is then we just bring in our subject. So I'm at half life size now. I just want to find something we like. So let's get back like that there. See there? I'm liking the look of that. You see we've got that one petal that's in focus just there. Okay, let's put a water drop on it. So first of all, I need to find out which petal it is. I think it's that one there. Yeah. Let's bring in a water drop. There we go. Oh yeah, beautiful. See there? Now the light and the reflections you can see are from the studio lights. So if you're doing this at home, then I highly recommend you just turn off all lights, so that you're controlling the environment and the lighting and you're only using the light that you want to do. But for me, to be honest with you, I don't think I need my torch. We'll take 2 images. We'll take 2. For me to get that exactly the way I want it, I've got to bring down my shutter speed. Because I want to use the ambient light. It looks nice the way it is. So I brought that down to 1/30th. We're on a tripod. The flares on a tripod. We should be okay. We're still in high res mode, so I am going to try and keep as still as possible because I'm on floorboards and they do shake. The next one I'm going to do, I'm going to have a play with my torch. I'll shine it on there, and again we're going to do the exposure. And whenever I'm doing water drops, it's always the shutter speed I adjust for exposure. And the reason we do that is we've already got our f-stop adjusted for a dreamy look. We've got our ISO as low as possible, so it's nice clean images. So the only thing we want to adjust is the shutter speed. And I'm going to get really close so I can have a high shutter speed. About 500 again. And what I'm doing is I'm looking at the refraction that the water drop is causing. Can you see there? Now, I don't know if this is going to work in high-res mode because I'm moving. So, what we're going to do is take a note out of my book, and I'm going to mount it onto a platypod. That way, the light isn't shaking. There we go. Slightly underexposed. Let's bring it in. And here we go. So when you're doing high-res mode, the post-shutter release is how long the delay is between pressing the button, which is your shutter, and it actually taking the pictures. I've got it set to 4. Experiment with it if you do have that mode on your camera. Water droplets, very simple and very easy to do. And I've got to say that every picture looks better with a drop of water on it. me say, eh? If you want multiple water droplets, you can use a spray. I'm not doing that in this demonstration because my backbook is right here recording the EVF. I don't want to push my luck this close to Christmas. So that is one way you can do that. You can get images like this doing the water droplets. But those are water droplets, a perfect project that you can do at home during winter. Now at the beginning of the video I said, or you haven't even got a camera yourself, so in my next video I'm going to be doing water droplet photography with an iPhone. So subscribe if you're looking forward to that video. Again, if you do take some water droplet photography, put them on Instagram, tag macro critique in the images, and I'll take a look at your images. But for now, I should leave this video here. My name's Stewart, and I'll see you in the next video. Currently, my favourite light for doing water droplet is still the torch. I haven't found... Cheers. So what I want to do is make sure that my EVF is recording because it's got a dodgy connection. Don't breathe on it. You know, after 6 years, you'd think I'd have everything prepped already. You'd think. I don't think in any way me being quiet affects the image quality though. Thank you for sticking to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe and click the like button. It really does help out the channel. I want to thank my Patreon supporters for their continued support in supporting me and this channel. If you're interested in joining Patreon, then check in the description below this video for a link to Patreon. If you want to continue watching my macro journey, then click one of the videos in front of you now.